Hi, I'm Barb Allen with American Snippets. We are here today with another special guest. This is Jeff Senior. He is a Southwest pilot by day. He is a rocker by night, and he is a patriot by nature. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me, Barbara. It's a
So
pleasure.
I got to meet you several years ago through an organization that we both know and is dear to us. It's called Snowball Express, and it is an organization that supports the widows and children of fallen soldiers and widowers, I guess, of fallen service members as well. Since then, we have both sort of evolved and gone our own ways, but it has been so awesome to stay in touch with you. I remember you from early days walking around with your guitar, jamming, singing in the lobbies and restaurants. And of course, the awesome song that you wrote and created and sang for Snowball Express that honors our families. So tell us a little bit about what you are doing today. You do something supremely unique in terms of traveling around the country and exciting high school students to tap into their national pride and unite them in their patriotism.
Yeah, about 6 years ago, my oldest daughter was in orchestra. She played violin, and I was at one of her concerts one day, and I got this idea, to wouldn't it be cool to integrate our music into the high school music programs and then at the same time inspire the kids about patriotism and America and veterans and those who serve. So we produced and developed the Freedom Rock Experience, which is basically it's a plug and play concert series that the music is professionally scored. I can send it to any school in the country, and they rehearse it and learn the music about a month out, and then we come in and put them all on stage and rock and roll. So the music kind of opens their hearts and minds, and then during the show we integrate this message of country, family, patriotism, the golden rule, treating each other, with love and kindness, and try to send the kids off with this message about whatever it is you desire to do, especially in America, you can make your dreams come true.
Awesome. How is that funded? How do you find the means to go out to these communities? Because you're in Arizona, but you
Right.
travel all over and do
Yeah,
this.
we get a lot of times sponsors, or if we try to entice a school to, let's say they have 1,000-seat auditorium, we can charge X amount of dollars for tickets. We take a couple dollars off the top of the ticket to cover our expenses and the band and travel. Travel gets a little more expensive, of course, but a lot of times you get the hotel sponsored or all of that. And then our goal is in the end to, aside from the message, raise money for the music programs as well.
Oh, that's a
So
a really nice extra touch there.
yeah, well, it's kind of cool because the if you talk to most of these teachers, the music programs they've cut way back. Sports is thriving, which is okay, but music is they're always looking for money, and a lot of times they send these kids out on these cookie dough sales and car washes and all of this stuff, and that's one way of raising money. But our way, they get to do something where they have to work towards a goal. They have to learn the music. They have to rehearse. They have to, and in the end, they invite their friends and family to the show and do what they love to do, is play music and then raise money at the same time.
So about how many of these shows have you done roughly since you started?
I don't know, probably 20, 25, 30, somewhere in there. Yeah.
And is it ever a tough
not as
sell?
many as I'd like. It is.
It's a tough sell to do.
Sometimes, sometimes the school administrators and the teachers are just like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing!" And if you read our testimonials, there we have principals, we have teachers, students that all write these amazing positive feedbacks on it. But then there are those. I mean, I've literally had, and this is a sad thing to say, there's just some schools that, it's a little too patriotic, or it's a little It's a little,
No, they tell
and
you it's too patriotic.
they make innuendos that
Oh my
it's,
gosh.
it's a little bit too, or if they don't say that, well, we're just kind of busy. We don't. I had one principal at one school say this was the greatest thing that ever came to a school, and then they want to book us again, and then we've had trouble rebooking. And believe it or not, in the last couple of years, the schools have become, it's just harder to get through them. I think, I hate to say it, but it's patriotism is kind of waning in some of these areas. So that's why I get more motivated to just even keep our mission going, to
Yeah, I've seen the videos, some video clips from some of the shows you do. And as the mom of 4 teenagers, I can't imagine getting a couple hundred teenagers excited sometimes. I can't
Mhm.
even get 4 teenagers excited on a good day, but you managed to come in and get all these kids excited and unified at the same time. Maybe you have kids who don't get along in school, or you have those kids who are bullied and whatnot. You have the different mindsets and mentalities. But for these shows, for those moments, it's like everybody remembers we're all Americans and we're all
Yeah.
here to do this show and to have a good time, promote that. And so for that little window of time, there's unity in the
Yeah.
school and in the people, and you hope that some of them carry that out with them as well. And I know probably in every school you go to, even though you may not be aware of it, there's got to be one or more students who are from a military family. Do they ever?
Actually, I actually
Yeah.
ask them to stand a lot of times.
Okay.
If you have a family member that's served or serving, we want to acknowledge you. So and yeah, it's amazing how many are. So, but yeah, our message is, I love to talk about, I like to tell the kids, when I was 16 years old, you don't know yet what a great place you
Mm-hmm.
live in, and then as you travel the world, I've been around the world, I didn't serve, but I'm extremely patriotic and I am appreciative of those who do. This is my way of serving in many ways. And, I mean, the band is called Call to Serve. So,
Right.
you know, my, I feel lucky that I can talk to the kids and say, look, you might not know at 16 years old how great you have it, but there's 7 billion people on earth. And I love talking numbers and bringing and to put that into perspective, if you take 1,000,000 seconds, it's 11 days. 1 billion seconds is 31 years. And no two of you are alike. Every one of you has a gift, something to contribute. And rather than getting caught up in, feeling like you're not relevant or you don't mean anything, or the hatred that is exhibited out there, think of what we can make this world if we all use our gifts for kindness and make this world a better place. And in America, there's so much opportunity.
Yeah.
You can start in the mailroom and become a CEO, but you got to work for it. I'm real big on, I tell the kids, you don't get a trophy in life
Nope.
for everything. Uh, that's not life. Life is about learning to fall down, learning to fail, learning to pick yourself back up and move on.
Yeah.
You
So,
and
do any of the kids come up to you after the performance and speak directly with you? Do you hang out afterwards?
all the
Or do you
time,
come in?
yeah, all the
Yeah.
time. They, you know, and that some of them, I had one young man come up one day, Mr. Senior, can I talk to you? And yeah, you okay? Yeah, I just wanted to tell you that this is just like the coolest thing I've ever
Oh,
gotten to do. Thank you for, and for, inspiring me and, making me feel like I can accomplish anything. And a lot of the kids keep in touch with us over the years. We have a couple that are in and out of college already and they're on their way in life and they still keep in touch.
oh,
And
that's great.
yeah, so it's kind of neat to see them grow up and get into the world and doing their thing, so.
Nice. So how many people are in your band, and are they all from Arizona? Do you fly,
Yeah.
or do you just fly in from different areas and meet?
No, we're all from here. And over the years, I've been really lucky to meet, as I've lost, having a band is like dating.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you have breakups, you have disagreements, and and finding the right chemistry with the guys is hard. It takes time.
Right.
So over time, I've lost bandmates, and some of them move on, and which is fine. But the four of us now, we're all local. Our newest member, who's now been about 3 years with us, Dylan, he's our lead guitar player. He's 22 years old. He's a kid. I call him a kid.
I know, I
But
do too now.
yeah, but he's just amazing,
Yeah.
and he's so gifted, and all the guys are extremely talented, and we've worked really hard to. The band's come a long ways over probably since you've heard it. It's live right now. The band sounds better than it ever has because everybody's really worked hard and done their homework, to make it what it is. So.
Nice. So when you fly, do you bring your guitar with you and never pop out and play for the passengers? Because I got to tell you, I have never been on a flight outside of Snowball Express flights, of course. I've never been on a flight where it's been anything, you see a lot of these videos online about all these people who get to fly and have this amazing experience with the entire flight crew who just do fun things or make a light. It's never happened to me. So,
really?
I'd
love to fly on my plane. That'd be awesome.
I would
we'd
too.
Have fun.
So, I mean, are you and your airline actually is probably one of the ones I see the most out there as people in the flight crew having fun with the passengers. We
kind of promote it. Yeah.
Yes. But I've still flown on the airline. I'm like, maybe this time. And nope, I don't get it. So how do you enhance your odds of getting on a fun flight?
You just got to get on my flight.
I just got to get on your. Okay, well, just email me your schedule and actually start flying some New York trips, please.
All right.
If you could,
we get LaGuardia overnights.
Oh my God, LaGuardia is awful, but I would drive to LaGuardia for you.
Oh, aren't you sweet? Well, and we have Islip, LaGuardia. I think we stay downtown now, but which I can imagine driving downtown is not fun, but I love the overnight. I love New York City. In answer to your question, I every flight I'm the performer in me. I love my people, and so I get in front of them and make PAs. I kind of joke around with them a lot, and it's kind of fun because I get a lot of comments that, wow, I've never had a pilot stand in front and talk to us and joke around, and I even joke around like, hey, it's going to be a 2-hour flight, but I'm going home today, so how's an hour sound? Yeah. And they're like, yeah. They all get excited, and I'll tell them that Susan, our flight attendant, cooked up your pretzels this morning. She spent all morning in the kitchen. I just joke around with them and have fun. And time permitting, I'll get my guitar out and play a song for them. So
awesome.
I really love doing that. A lot of times we're so rushed, we don't have that time. And I have a guitar Gary Kelly, our CEO, gave me. And 2 years ago, I won the President's Award with Southwest, and for what we do with the schools and our shows for the military. And so he gave me this guitar, and it's painted like a Southwest jet. It's got the paint scheme on it. So when I pull that thing out, people are like, "Oh, that's so neat!" They want their picture with it. And everything. So yeah.
So I hear you have a new and exciting project in the works. Care to spill?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, through our music journey, I met a gentleman, Joe Torillo, who's a New York firefighter and who speaks now around the country. He was buried and survived in the World Trade Center. He's buried in the Twin Tower. I don't know if you've met Joe.
No, but I've heard of him, sure.
Okay, yeah, he's a good friend. And through Joe, one day Joe said, I want you to meet this lady, Barbara Beach, who's a field producer, and she's kind of involved with a lot of the TV networks. And long story short, I got to know Barbara, and she's written a script, and it's been approved there's 2 Emmy producers on it that are going to shop it to probably A&E, History, one of those. And the premise is basically they think the world's ready for some feel good,
Mm-hmm.
fun, positive message reality TV. And so it's actor Jack Scalia, who lives in New York as well, and it's pilot by day, rocker by night. And Jack and I, we go to cities around the nation and honor our military. We maybe find a family or a soldier maybe has PTSD or fighting some issues, and then we help that family out, and we have a big concert at the end, and maybe bring their local school on stage with us, and so it's a very feel good, and at the end, kind of
Yeah.
a surprise of we give them help them fix up their house or give them a wheelchair or something like that. So each
Awesome.
episode has a different story. So
That is cool. I do work with my county as a veteran specialist, and I'm in contact with so many veterans and their families, in addition to just the ones I come across being one, right? So my
hmm
personal network of those families. And I see firsthand all the struggles that these families go through. And we get calls into our office of, hey, oh my gosh, we have this going on, or we have that going on, or just one crisis, to somebody who's coming home and struggling. And, it's not the Hollywood portrayal necessarily of these men and women coming home that are like sort of mentally unhinged and all that. They're just people who are struggling to
right,
readapt to life and overcoming some struggles, some challenges in the meantime. But when they're faced with just one more crisis or one more stressful situation on top of everything that they're already trying to balance out, sometimes that one crisis can be the one that sends them over the edge or into that depression. And I see the
yeah,
difference when somebody comes forward and says, you know what, I got you. I'm going to get you through this one. And that can
hmm
actually help somebody change the trajectory of
right,
their life. I've been on the receiving end of such when I had some dark days, and that helped me change my life.
yeah,
And now I get to see others. So for you to come out and be doing this, I'm excited and anxious for you to see the end result when somebody comes back to you or you reach back out to one of those families that you will be impacting, and see how that little moment in your life, in
yeah.
the span of your life, changed their life or helped them change your life. It's going to be cool, and
I can't.
you're
I'm
gonna love it.
excited, and it'd be my way of
Yeah.
like I told the producers. Right now, we touch a number of people a year through our music, whether
Hmm.
it's schools or veterans. A show like this, we would touch millions, and I
Yes.
think the country's hungry for some good feel good stories,
That's why we
and
do this. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
and our PTSD is something we just sweep under the carpet. There's, what is it, 22 a day
Yeah.
that commit suicide. The Gold Star families like people, we go, yeah, I'm so sorry, but we can't begin to fathom what you went through, Barbara, and what you endured. We
Well,
can't even, because we're not there. We're not in your shoes, and so it's we just I can't personally give enough gratitude and thanks, and if we don't bring awareness to it,
yeah.
we will lose our country eventually. We have to teach our youth
Yes.
that, this
Absolutely.
country didn't happen by accident. This is
Right.
this is a blessing that we need to appreciate every day. And as we pass the baton to our kids, my kids, your
Mm-hmm.
kids, that they go on and lead this country, and don't let it go. And so that's why I
Right.
think we're both people like you and I. We're committed to a mission of letting people know about this stuff. And so
Yeah.
Jack's a great guy. If I get the opportunity I couldn't ask for a better acting coach. He's amazing and super patriotic guy. He's amazing. And, so I'm excited about the opportunity to work with him and go do this thing.
So you
So
guys just got, how did it come to be that you two were paired to do this project?
Barbara,
She's the
Barbara
one that said,
Beach,
I know him and
she,
I know you,
she
and I
knows
think you
Jack
would be,
very
oh, okay.
well.
Okay. Good. I
Yeah.
missed
So
that
she
part. Okay.
paired us up.
Okay.
There was instant chemistry with Jack and I.
Okay. Good.
Very, just a great guy, similar ideals and thinking. And And so we just hit it off from day one. And I'll send you the trailer. It's got him in it and I kind of interacting. And we went to South Carolina to McIntyre Joint National Guard Base and did some things out there. And that storyline kind of ties in the trailer with
Nice.
that. So that's how I met Jack, and he's quite the guy. Just he's gone to Iraq several times on his own. He knows some retired special forces general, and he's buddies with him. And he's gone to Iraq. I mean, in the line of fire, and helped people out over there. They opened up. I think Easter they rang a bell at a church that had been taken over by ISIS,
Wow.
and and we were all kind of like, Jack, you're sure you really want to do this, but he was dedicated. That's how he is. He's got a heart of gold. So
Nice. So do you have any
yeah.
kind of guess? What would be your best guess on if the moons and stars were to align and this were to move forward at a steady pace? Do you have a guess as to when we'll all be able to see, say, your first episode?
It would, well, if they're looking right now for the corporate sponsor
Mm-hmm.
to cover the production cost of the first season. So,
Okay.
one or more sponsors, they would like a company or companies that are very pro-veteran, and we're also including first responders.
Right.
So a company and there are many out there that are very pro-veteran first responders, and they could integrate their employees into the show and their brand. So not
Okay.
only would they get advertising time, they would get a brand recognition
Right.
in the show, and that's kind of really what they want, and that's what they're searching for right now. As soon as they find that, they'll start shooting tomorrow.
Awesome.
I mean, our lives will change pretty quick
Yeah,
once
that
it
would be
goes.
busy. You
So
would have to then travel. I mean, good thing you're used to traveling, right? Maybe you could
yeah,
set it up so that wherever you're flying on your job, you land in that town and do something sometimes.
yeah, and
That would be
there's a
convenient.
couple organizations that have corporate jets looking at it that that could be a way as well. I would fly the corporate jet into the town,
I
and
just fly the corporate jet.
crew crew gets off, and we get off the plane and go make a difference, and then have a concert at the end.
Uh,
It's kind of, they love the concept, and they kind of, and I just look at it. I'm not anything special, but I guess they look at it that I have lived the dream. I was in Hollywood, and I was a movie film pilot and
uh-huh.
helicopter news pilot, and I was just this kid out of LA that worked hard and believed in that I could do it, and they like that story, that I can jump out of the cockpit of a plane and jump on a stage and rock and roll, so
That is pretty
it's
cool. Like you can see that in your head, how that's all going to play out. You're going to
yeah.
be like Superman going into the phone booth and coming out all jammed up.
That's funny.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be
So,
sweet. Yeah, both ways. It's going to be awesome. So
and my
tell
whole
us.
thing is, I just want to touch lives. I just want to go put smiles on people's face. And, you look at what's going on out there in the world.
Yeah.
It's just so sad to see, how much hatred and dissension we have. And so whatever we can do to make a difference, to go live your life, and every day is precious. Go enjoy it. So,
Yeah, that's great. Tell us what has been. Pick one of your favorite concerts, or has there been any moment in these concerts, any one moment? I know you said you had that student come up to you and say that was one of the coolest things ever. Is that the one that stands out in your mind as one of the most powerful moments you had, or?
that, well, that and many more. I mean, there's kind of hard to pick out any one. Um, 2 years ago, we did a benefit concert for one of our flight attendants that had been tragically killed in Hawaii. She was on vacation with her family. Her and her husband were body surfing. A wave took her out, and she never recovered,
Oh
and ended up
man.
passing away. And Wendy Van Briesen was her name. And so I contacted the family and said, hey, their medical bills, and they had a lot going on. Why don't we try to make a difference? So we did a benefit concert for Wendy, and we had Chandler High School Orchestra perform with us. And that stuck out because we kind of produced the whole show to dedicate to her life, and it
Wow.
what's brought into focus, what all of our lives truly are, and that's um, it's not about your house or your car or how much money. In the end, it's the legacy we leave behind. And so we got to talk about Wendy's legacy and the kind of person she was. And that was a lot of the show was tough because I got kind of teary eyed a couple times,
Yeah.
talking about that. But it brought a lot of perspective to all of us about, boy, she was just on a vacation, enjoying her life with her son and daughter and her husband, and bam, So every day, as you know, is precious,
Yeah.
and how many times we waste days, we gripe and complain about silly things,
Mm-hmm.
So, but so that's one that kind of stuck on my mind quite a bit.
Well, that makes sense because now it's going to stick in my mind too, and I wasn't even there. So thank you.
Yeah. I wrote a
Yeah.
song called
Yeah.
Scrapbook in Heaven,
Yeah.
and I lost a little boy years ago, and I wrote Scrapbook in Heaven. And even though it's about loss, about losing somebody, the song is about, I believe one day that we will be together again with those loved ones we lost. And we sang Scrapbook in Heaven with a slideshow of her
Oh
life
my
behind us.
gosh, Jeff.
And that was hard. That was really difficult, but such an
Yeah.
honor to get to do, and so, yeah, we got pictures when she was a baby till her last week, and then to play that song. Yeah, I couldn't even watch the slideshow and play the song,
No, I don't
so
blame you. I don't even know how you got through
yeah,
that song with as
yeah,
meaningful as it is to you then. I could tell you as somebody who lost the spouse as well, when you have the opportunity to do something like that and to honor life, but not in a sort of morose kind of way. It seemed like, especially in the military, everything is somber and serious, and there was no real opportunity to simply celebrate my husband's life. And
yeah,
I know people will look at you and say, what are you celebrating? Well, it's a loose sense of the word, right? But to grab onto the warmth and the love and just have that feeling for one more moment. But
yeah,
in my world, that wasn't provided. We weren't able to ever do that. Everything was very serious and very sad. Every memorial ceremony we went to, every dedication, something was dedicated to him. There's taps playing in the bugle, and it all just makes you want to kind of go
right,
hide and cry again. So
right,
for you to
yeah,
do that on an uplifting a note for the family, there's nothing you can do. You can't, yeah, I mean, you obviously know, right? Like you can't, nothing is going to make it okay or make it better. But if you
yeah,
can do something in that person's name or for that family to help them have that moment. That's a
yeah.
gift. So that's pretty cool that you did that.
It's an honor for me. I talk at every show about this stuff. The average lifespan 75 years, and uh, which is about 28,000 days.
Hmm.
And if you break it into days, it brings into perspective, like, whoa, and some get a lot less, some get more.
Right.
We just celebrated the birthday. We did a concert for the oldest Pearl Harbor survivor on the USS Midway
Wow.
in San Diego. He's Ray Chavez, 105.
Wow.
How many people get that?
Not a lot.
Not
Yeah.
many. And so, but the bottom line is, and what's amazing about that is from the moment we're born, we know it's inevitable,
Right.
but it's still so, because it's so final.
Mm-hmm.
But so that you're right, the celebration of life when we do lose loved ones, it's remembering who that person was, how they touched others, and yeah, it's your legacy. It's really, truly,
Yeah.
you
And it
know,
helps set you up with the mindset to recover in a life after a loss. When you enter into that new life after a loss with that warm, positive, uplifting mindset, it gives you just that little bit of an edge to deal with the enormous pain that's hitting you and going to continue to
right.
hit you when you enter into that world with the doom and gloom mindset that is so often seen. You don't even understand yourself how that damages your ability to sort of gain some strength and grow. So that again is great what you did. I'm so happy.
Well, it's pretty amazing what you had to endure. Like I said before, it's hard for us to understand, and that's the thing. But his memory lives on, and I'm sure you see him in your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Every day you look at your kids.
Yeah, no, that's it's true. It's all good. I am so happy we get to share your story, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you on the screen in my living room, man.
Oh, you're sweet. You're
popping
sweet.
some popcorn and hanging out. Well, next time I see you, I'll have to get your autograph in person. No, I won't, because I lose autographs every time. But I'll get my picture with you, and I'll post it online.
I'd be honored. Well, and there's going to be lots of room for subjects of episodes. So,
oh my gosh, I can send you families. Yes, please.
Absolutely. That's the thing. There's so many amazing stories out there of human sacrifice.
So many. Yes.
Yeah. It's almost like, where do you start? You know? So that's why they think that they're excited about the show, and that we can go bring honor and attention to these stories that are out there. That when you see the trailer, there's a gal, Mia is her name, 22 years old. She was in the National Guard, and driving, I think, home or one night from work, and helped a motorist along the side of the road that was stranded. And so while she's helping, the motorist got hit by another car and became a paraplegic.
Wow.
So Mia, you meet Mia, she's the most happy, smiling, and joyful person. I mean, and she's in a wheelchair. She has to blow into a tube to make it go.
Wow.
And you just, and you look at a person like that has joy in their heart still, and you go, man, I have no reason to complain about anything. We're just what we take for granted every day, so, and she's one of so many stories that are out there that we can bring light to,
Yeah. Well, when you need them, hit me up, because I will send you. If you need them, I will send them. Okay.
All right.
Great, Jeff. Thank you so much for taking the time,
Barbara,
to chat with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
We're looking forward to sharing this.
Big honor. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Bye.